Food for Thought with Professor David Ndete.
Welcome to another episode of Food for Thought with Professor Ndete. We are kicking off a brand new series as we look into something known as dissociative identity disorders. We want to find out what those are, how they manifest, and is there a treatment for it? Professor, how are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Good to have you again on the show.
Thank you. All the time, most welcome.
Yes.
Anytime.
Dissociative identity disorder, what is that?
Well, I think the easiest way is to break down the word. Yeah? Mm-hmm. Dissociative, it just means dissociate. I mean, it's like you are splitting something into smaller bits. Mm-hmm. And amnesia is just memory. So dissociative amnesia or the related condition is that there is a problem with the memory. It's like the way you behave is completely dissociated from the memory. Mm-hmm. You see, under normal circumstances, a person functions in a holistic manner. It is you, it is your level of consciousness, it is your level of memory, is your level of very many things. Yeah. When they become integrated so that they are acting as one thing, then that's what we call normal. Okay, but when they seem to be disintegrated, that's disassociated, they are fragmented into small pieces, so that one seems to be more prominent than the other, then this person is not functioning in an integrated manner. Okay. I think if you break the word into those components, or you look at it that way, then it begins to make sense. If you allow me, Pastor, before we go into the details of this, and we go into as many details as we can, I must say that with the time, things change. With the time, things change. And the reason why they change is because with the time we understand things better than we used to understand them. With the time, people tend to go for, if they have issues, they go for treatment before these issues present to either a pastor or a friend or somebody else, because they would have been recognized and managed at a very early stage. Yeah. So they never reach that stage where we can say there is an element of abnormality here. When this is even seen in other types of physical medicine. But let's talk about mental health. There is something we used to call catatonic schizophrenia, just to illustrate the point, which is in historical books which are here in my office. And if you go to those books, it's like they always talked about that. And those days, if you went to Mother Hospital, those days, you see catatonic schizophrenia all over the place. It's very difficult to find them these days.
Oh.
Yeah, you don't see them. As we talk about this, it will come out very clearly. People used to talk about hysteria, which is still, people still talk about hysteria. And these days, you'd be extremely careful not to make a diagnosis of hysteria. It's like that term is dying out, because we understand what happens, and we even have moved from the term hysteria to something called conversion, which is also part of the dissociative disorder. We'll talk about it. Now, these other conditions that you have asked me to talk about, again, if you go to all the books on psychiatry, you find very many of them described in very good details. But you see, I'm saying describe. Describe is what you see with your own eyes, maybe what you hear, what you can feel. But there's a world difference between what you see and what is behind what you see. And it is behind that which is behind what you see is which is very, very important. And as I hope we'll be able, as we continue the discussion, we are able to see beyond to understand beyond what we are seeing.
We can see, yeah.
And know that what you are seeing is nothing new, nothing exotic. It is that, it may be that this is just a presentation of anxiety, for example.
Okay.
This is a presentation of stress. So you want to understand the reasons of the stress behind what you are seeing. And more often than not, even people get more informed so that they know, instead of, if they have a problem in the family, or they have been traumatized, or they are having a problem, before they go to this extreme presentation, they realize what it is, and they go and get treated or manage. They understand the problem better.
Okay.
So with this increasing understanding of things, we are seeing less and less of these dissociative disorders presenting in clinical situations. That does not mean that they do not exist. So we talk about the little that exists today as compared with what used to be the case in the past.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So are there different kinds of this disorder? Or
yes, they are different. They are different, and I can tell you the one that we know a lot about is what we call dissociative amnesia. Amnesia is memory loss.
Memory loss, yeah.
And this memory loss is a way of a person to cope, not to remember things that are very traumatic to them.
Oh.
Okay. And there are very many things that are very traumatic to individuals.
Yeah.
It may be being involved in a car accident. You don't remember exactly what happened at that particular time. It may be sexual attack, like rape, very traumatic, and people don't want to remember how that is. Like is hidden somewhere in the memory because you don't want to recall it. It may be say being attacked by thugs. It's so traumatic, you don't want to remember. And if you talk, it's like you talk to the person about what they went through, and generally they are not able to remember.
They can't remember.
They cannot remember.
So they are not pretending.
They are not pretending. They are not pretending. It's like it's hidden somewhere at the back of their minds. Okay, so we call them dissociative amnesia. That's all that it means. It is a symptom. Shall I say it is a symptom? It's not a diagnosis.
Oh.
Yeah. It is not a diagnosis as such. It is a symptom. A person does not seem to remember. So what happened? What is the problem that we are dealing with? Most likely we are dealing with, say, in the examples that I gave you, we are probably dealing with the post-traumatic stress disorder. And in fact, one of the symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder, and there are very many of them, one of them is dissociative amnesia. So instead of making a diagnosis of amnesia as a diagnosis, it is a symptom.
Okay.
See, I said post-traumatic stress disorder is a diagnosis which consists of very many symptoms, one of which is dissociative amnesia.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, Professor, so is it only associated with a traumatic event?
No, it does not have to be associated with a traumatic event. There are times when people do not just want to remember whatever happened for various reasons. And it has, in the past, it has taken very, very different forms. So, for example, in the forensic medicine, forensic psychiatry, a person who is being accused of something and he really does not want to remember it, and he goes to the court and he is asked about something, he really doesn't want to talk about it. It's like he has got amnesia. He has got forgetfulness for that particular condition. And as I say, if that happens, this amnesia is not really the diagnosis, it's a symptom. And the literature is full of those various examples. Like, for example, in forensic medicine, psychiatry, somebody would have amnesia of little things, and if you ask them a question about what happened, they don't remember.
They don't remember.
And if you ask them to do simple arithmetic, they would not be able to do it. It's like, under normal circumstances, 2 plus 2 is 4.
Yeah.
But somebody will tell you 2 plus 2 is 5.
And they're serious.
They have, yeah, they believe that's it, that the 2 plus 2 is 5. It's like there's an element that in their minds takes from them the clarity of thinking in the mind, so that they cannot, that integration is not there. So dissociative amnesia is one of them, which we have heard quite a lot.
Yeah. Can I ask you something on that, Professor? Sorry for interrupting you. I hear cases of, I'm just wondering if fear can also trigger it, because I've had cases of students who are going to sit for an exam, but you're in such fear, you get into the exam room, the exam paper is given to you, and you can't remember. Yes,
that's exactly what we are talking about. So not remembering, when you sit in an examination, you go blank.
Yeah.
Completely.
Yeah.
Is not a diagnosis. We know that when people have examination or a fear of examination, it is an anxiety disorder.
Oh.
So you don't focus on why they cannot remember.
Yeah.
You focus on the anxiety, if you can manage it that particular time. Or, of course, during the examination, you can't manage it. But if you could have recognized it before and manage it, this thing is not going to happen. This symptom of this unique symptom of anxiety is not going to present at a time when it is most unwelcome. Yes. So as you can see, there is a very good variation. As a matter of fact, it is not possible because there are so many human experiences.
Yeah.
It's not possible to summarize or to name all of them, and this will come more clear when we talk about other things. Because there are so many human experiences, and you cannot summarize human experiences.
Yeah.
All you can do is try to group them together. Dissociative amnesia, it can present in very many variations, and depending on the situation. You also have what we call dissociative personality disorders, used to be called multiple personalities. It's like me, if you know me very well, or you know a friend very well, you can always say the personality of David Me is 1, 2, 3. If you talk about 1, 2, 3, 4, who is that person? We are talking about the tape. Okay. That sounds very much like him.
Yeah.
But you can never have a situation where you interact with me, and you observe 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
And then somebody comes and talks to pastor. You know, I met Ndetei, and these are things that observed him. Say, no, that's not the tape. That's not the tape. That's not the tape. Do you get the point?
Yes.
That's not the tape. Whereas under normal circumstances, if 1, 2, 3, the tape, until proved otherwise. This ABCD, that's not the tape unless you convince me it was him that you interacted with. So it, like in some situations, it's very rare that people have these multiple personality disorders. But there are people who have a way unconsciously of dealing with situations by appearing like they have a different personality, which is very different from their usual personality. It is still a dissociative disorder. It's you and dissociative disorder. It's like you have dissociated yourself from what we know consists is characteristic of you.
Thank you for watching. That's all the time we have for Food for Thought with Professor Ndete on this beautiful day. And as always, give us your feedback. Tell us if these conversations are beneficial to you. 20316 is the SMS line. WhatsApp number 0786 316 316. And if you have topics you would like for us to cover, feel free to send us that information. Until next time, have a good day.
Food for Thought with Professor David Ndete.
Thank you for watching. Remember, subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you can get notified whenever we upload new fresh content every day. Stay tuned and enjoy fresh, uplifting content.